Before we start today, I have to tell you about State Farm agent Brian McDevitt. A lot of our listeners have gone to him for all their insurance needs, and he's been very helpful in getting them the coverage they deserve. There's no games with Brian. He's just here to help and make sure you feel safe. So if you have insurance needs and you haven't called him yet, what are you waiting for? Dial up the number, 630-796-2662. That's 630-796-2662. Or find him online at ryanismyagent.com. That's ryanismyagent.com, and make sure to mention Sports Talk Chicago. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I want to start today with this. A lot of people say the preseason means absolutely nothing. Why am I watching third stringers play? I don't know half these people. I got to look down at my roster. That's too much work. Got media members supposed to be doing their jobs here who actually complain about the preseason. I get it to an extent. I mean, if you're a Bears fan, do you really want to watch Ryan Knoll and Jesper Horsted catch a ball or run the ball? No, of course not. But there's a purpose to the preseason, believe it or not. Part of it is fans overreacting, of course, and we'll talk about that in a second, but also part of it is development. For a guy like Justin Fields, nice to see him in a game atmosphere. What will he do facing a real defense? In a 2-minute drill, run the ball downfield. All of this stuff is important, and you can't get all this information from just a practice or just a 7-on-7 or a scrimmage. That's why there are still 3 preseason games. You know, for all those people who say, get rid of the preseason, really? I don't know. The last time I checked, it's pretty entertaining to watch a rookie quarterback come in, see what he could do against a real team. That's just me, though. So, yes, the Bears won. Not that it matters. I don't care about the win or the loss. I care about development. I care about certain players who actually played well, and some guys who we need to temper expectations for. We'll start with the obvious in Justin Fields. Now, 14 of 20, 142 yards, a touchdown, 33 rushing yards. Not a bad day. Started bad, which scared me, but overall, picked it up in the third quarter. Made a couple of nice throws downfield, ran the football when necessary, had the rushing touchdown. Had a fumble, too, and had a couple of near interceptions. Now, I won't criticize him on those. I didn't do that for Mitch. And I told everybody back at that time, we can't be criticizing near interceptions. They didn't happen. There were a couple of bad decisions, but fortunately, the defense couldn't capitalize. The fumble was on him, no question. If you're a running quarterback, you have to recognize when it's time to slide, when it's time to avoid contact, when it's time to run out of bounds and hold on to the football. Protecting the football is the number one priority and objective as a running quarterback. As a runner in general, not just a quarterback. Running back, wide receiver, doesn't matter. You got to protect the football. But that was really his only hiccup. I like the throws downfield. Looked very calm, cool, collected, poised in the pocket. My favorite part about Fields is mobility. Many of you know me. I love mobile quarterbacks. Favorite. I love guys who can extend plays with their legs, scramble, turn nothing into something. That's amazing. And that's a quality that not every quarterback has. Tom Brady's not going to run the ball. Let's just be honest here. Tom Brady's not just going to leave the pocket and run it 20 yards. No, he can't. He's physically limited. Fields can't. You guys can do it. Jacoby Brissett ran a bit for the Dolphins. Tyrod Taylor, Deshaun Watson. There are players who could run the football effectively. Mitch Trubisky scrambled, not run, but scrambled, and made plays happen. To me, that's such a valuable asset, and that's the future of the NFL. Lamar Jackson, another. That's the future of the quarterback position. Can you be a multifaceted quarterback? We don't just need you to pass the ball anymore. Can you run? Can you extend plays with your legs? Can you scramble? Are you mobile? Can you leave the pocket when there's pressure? Will you crumble when there's pressure? Or will you stay poised and just shift out of the way? Fields, to his credit, did all that. Well, that's it. If I had to choose today whether to start Fields game 1 or sit him, and I'm sitting here trying to figure it out, still wouldn't play him. That's right, I wouldn't play him. Plain and simple. That's not me hating on him. It's not me saying he's going to be a bust. If you go on Twitter at Jon Z Sports, you saw what I said. I never said Fields would be bad. What I am saying is that we have to temper our expectations just a bit. You have to remember he's a rookie. The fumble was an issue. Big issue. Also, no O-line. This isn't all just on Fields. The team around him isn't that good. There is no offensive line help for him. None. Kevin Jenkins is still hurt. Chris Williams, I'm just saying. Could be the next Chris Williams. He is still not on the field. Larry Borom didn't play due to concussion protocol. A lot of these guys who the Bears drafted, who they said would help reinforce the O-line, still can't play. This was supposed to be an improved part of the team. I don't know about you, but I would not want to put out my first-round invested pick without any O-line. Why would I start Justin Fields if my O-line isn't 100%? If one defender touches him, he could be out for the year. Somebody sacks him wrong, hurts himself, he could be done. And I know it might be wrong to think that way, but this is the frickin' NFL, just so you're aware. Joe Burrow was knocked out last year because he had no O-line. There was an interview after his injury with Zach Taylor, the head coach. He was asked about the O-line. He said that had nothing to do with it. Well, it did. If you had a competent O-line, or if you didn't start Burrow till you knew the O-line was better, would have never gotten hurt. That's what I'm concerned about for the Bears. Also, no wide receiving help whatsoever for him nor for Dalton. I mean, when your number one receiver is Rodney Adams, who had a good game, that's still a problem. Now, I know Robinson didn't play, wasn't supposed to. I know they didn't have full strength from a receiving standpoint, but still, I was not impressed with how they played. There were some good passes dropped or broken up that shouldn't have been, or dropped after catching it, could not be held onto as they hit the ground. These are plays that have to be made. And it's simple. You know, Justin Fields won't succeed if you give him no wide receivers or no O-line. I love the people who say, oh, start Fields game 1. If you don't want him to start, you're a hater. I was called a tap dancer. A media tap dancer. Someone said I was paid off to say that Fields shouldn't start. I'm paid off. Okay. What benefit would I have in saying Fields shouldn't start? But that's besides the point. I believe that until you have everything shored up, no need to start. Not being a hater, called being realistic. Why in the world would you play him when you don't need him? Why would you play him when your O-line isn't healthy? Why would you play him when you don't have enough wide receiving help yet? And these are common sense things. The good thing is good run game. And that's something I really like from today. Herbert, Montgomery, Williams, that's going to be a nice threesome in the backfield. Plus, Cohen, who didn't play, he's on the PUP list still. Run game's going to be great, which is good. The Bears are a run-first team. They've always been. Always. They are known for their defense and their run game. The past couple of years under Matt Nagy, the run game's kind of been pushed off to the side. Great to see it back. You have 4 competent backs who could get the job done behind the quarterback. That's progress. So there was a lot I liked today. They did win, which whoop-de-doo if you care, but the main thing you should take away from this first preseason game is that Justin Fields may not be ready yet to start. Now, I think skill-wise, if we're talking pure skill, put him in. Seriously, put him in. Let him play. At this point, I was wrong about that. Let the guy play. He's good enough to at least be a competent NFL quarterback. Competent at the lowest. Superstar at the highest. The thing that scares me, no O-line, not much receiving help either. And I don't see the benefit in putting him in when your O-line isn't 100%. The O-line broke down a couple of times today. Now, fortunately, Fields is in a position where he could run and move out of the way. But still, you're not going to get away from everything. Don't do what the Bengals and Joe Burrow did. Oh, we got to start him. We got nobody. Put him in. Tears ACL. Done. And all year, he was tormented by defensive linemen because they had no O-line and nobody helped. He had no help on that team. The Bears are more talented, yes, but the O-line is still depleted. Justin Fields, talent-wise, has what it takes to start week 1. The Bears, as a team, though, don't have enough to protect him. And that's why right now, I'm still hesitant on putting him in. It's not an indictment on Fields, not an indictment on his skill. It's an indictment on who's around him. That's what scares me. We got to remember this. He was an investment. Traded up to get him. First-round quarterback. The future for the next 10, 12, 15 years. Why in the world would you just throw him out there and hope he fends for himself with no O-line? Don't pull a Bengals. Come on. You're way better than Cincinnati. And you know it too. The Bears are such a storied franchise. The last thing you want to do is pull a Bengals. Put in Fields for no reason. You're not expected to win this year. So why put him in when you have no O-line help? You invested in Fields. You gave up draft capital. You moved up in the first round. You got him. I don't see the benefit in just saying, here you go. No O-line. Good luck. It's like driving your brand new car just straight into a wall. For no reason, just to do it. Makes no sense. Fields, from a skill perspective, has what it takes to succeed. I saw it today. He does. I'll give him credit. Ran the ball, avoided pressure, threw downfield, had no receiving help, no O-line help. I can't blame him for that. Fields, from what I saw today, has what it takes to be a good quarterback. Seriously. Has the talent. Ran away from pressure, made plays, threw downfield, but he had no wide receivers and no O-line. Not his fault, but that's the reality of the situation. Why put him in when you have those liabilities that could end up handicapping him? I'm all about setting up somebody for success. I want someone to be set up for success. I want them to have everything they need, all the tools they need to succeed. Right now, Justin Fields does not have that. That's a fact, too. Die-hard Bears fans know it. Because if you're going to tell me objectively, even if you're a fan, that this O-line is good, you're wrong. If you're going to tell me these wide receivers know what they're doing, you're wrong. They need more to be better for him. He's actually outgrown this offense. He's too good to be here right now. He needs more weapons and more talent around him to win. Running backs are good. He's fine there. But O-line, wide receivers, that's going to be a problem. Imagine a real defender, not some second string, third string, but a real defender coming at Fields in game 1, game 2. Aaron Donald coming at him with a depleted O-line. Not good. That's the whole issue I have here. I'm concerned that there's not enough talent on this team to protect him. Remember, he's an investment. He's an investment. The Bears gave up draft capital to get him. Don't pull a Bengals and Joe Burrow. Oh, we'll put him in right away. He'll fend for himself. And he did, to his credit. And he tore his ACL. Out for the year. See, no one gets it. No one sees that. You're a hater. You don't want Fields in. No. Not it. I'm genuinely concerned for his safety. When you're this first-round quarterback, you need to be protected. You need to have assurance. You need to know your guys are going to be there for you. Right now, doesn't have that. And even in this preseason game, that was apparent. Ran a lot, avoided pressure, that's great, but you're not going to avoid pressure when you actually face real defenders, not second-string defenders. Just something to keep in mind. I think Fields is talented. I think he actually could be a good player. But if he doesn't have the pieces around him to win, he isn't going to win. Every quarterback in the NFL, with the exception of maybe 3, need help. Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers don't. Everybody else does, including Tom Brady. He needs help. He is not talented enough to just win on his own. And Fields at this moment is in that boat. Now, that could change, but he's a rookie. Right now, he does need some help. He needs something. Can't just expect the guy to come in and win. He needs help. And the Bears can't offer anything right now. That's the concern. That's where there's going to be an issue for him, long term. So let's just keep that in mind. I think he's a good quarterback. Showed me today much more, and I think I needed to see this. A lot of us did. We needed to make sure he was good. The only mistake he made was the fumble. That's it. And that's correctable, too. And you're going to see more fumbles from him anyway, just because he runs the ball more. That's just a fact. Statistically true. Lamar Jackson fumbles the ball a lot. No one says anything, because the guy runs it 250 times. So, that's not an issue. The issue is, will the Bears have enough talent to surround him? Will they have enough gusto to win? Can they protect him from a serious injury? So I have my doubts there. And today's preseason game only amplified it. Think for yourself here. Think. Make sure you understand. It's not all about talent. If it was all about talent, we know who'd be starting game 1. Who has more upside, who's going to do more for the team. We know this. It's not about talent. It's about the other guys. One person cannot win an NFL game. You actually need linemen, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, maybe a fullback. Right now, the Bears are shaky in a couple of those spots. They get reinforcements. If they get better, I'm cool with Fields starting game 1. But if the O-line isn't there, and Fields is still a rookie, obviously, maybe it'd still be best to sit him a couple of games. But that's just me. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. My interview with Mark Schanowski comes up next, so stay tuned.